All right, we are ramping up for the Lori Vallow Daybell court case in Arizona coming on Monday on April 7th. So let's dive into 5 things to be watching out for during that trial as she represents herself. So it will look a little different from what we're used to, and definitely different from what we've seen in her case in Idaho. So 5 things plus 1 little bonus opinion, because you know I have them. If you're new here, I'm Annette Lyon, USA Today best-selling author of the suspense novel Just One More and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also award-winning author, former editor, a whole bunch of other things. Here we discuss true crime often, but not always, where it intersects with religion. And then we have chocolate on the side because you gotta have something sweet in the middle of all the bitter. I have opinions. I rant. That's what we do here. We respect all faith traditions and those with no faith traditions. That includes my faith as well. A quick reminder to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and helps other people find this kind of content who would be interested in it. Ready? Let's go. 1. Lori is going to be wearing a shock vest slash belt. They call it a rack belt, RACC. Not sure what it stands for. Haven't looked it up. But that will let her move to the podium and back to the table because she's representing herself. Normally, inmates will have a leg brace on them that will limit their mobility, but that would keep her from going to the podium. So she gets to go back and forth on that. She argued with the judge saying, well, the sheriff's office said that we didn't even need that. We just needed the lowest level of security. And the judge just kind of looked at her and was like, they want the belt and extra guards. So that's what we're doing. It's their call. Go look at my last video about all the documents, and the sheriff's office made that decision on their own. 2. Both Lori and the state will be handing exhibits to another court worker to then present to the jury instead of just Lori doing that, because again, her mobility is going to be restricted. She can't move. There's a table, the podium, that's all she can do. So to make sure it's fair for the jury, that the jury is not wondering, well, why isn't she acting like the state? And the state can hand over documents and exhibits more easily. They will both be handing their exhibits and paperwork to the same court person. So it's balanced, and the jury won't be prejudiced because of that. 3. This was I thought, kind of a brilliant way to handle things. Again, because of her mobility thing. She's not allowed to move around, but she's representing herself. So how do we handle sidebars? That's going to be a problem if she can't go into the corner or into the judge's chambers to discuss issues. What do you do? So what they have come up with is this headphone microphone situation where in sidebars, she puts on these headphones, so does the state, so does the judge, that they can hear and talk to each other, and then they blast white noise throughout the courtroom, which I hear is pretty loud, so that no one can hear what they are saying to each other. And that's how they handle. That's what they did during jury selection to discuss various jurors, and that's what they will do moving forward. So they can still communicate privately, but she'll be at her table doing so. 4. The jury will be allowed to know that she has been convicted of at least 1 felony. It's a little unclear in the language whether they will be allowed to know about more than 1 felony, but even with that, they will be told that is not to determine her guilt in this crime. It is just to help determine her credibility, which will help determine her guilt, I would imagine. If you can't trust a word she's saying and she's non-credible, then more likely she's guilty. Just a thought. But related to that, it's likely, according to a lot of talking heads, Nancy Grace and others, that some of the information from the Idaho trial may come into this one, just as some of the Arizona information came into the Idaho trial. How much is yet to be seen. It was definitely limited in Idaho how much of the Arizona stuff came in. It was necessary to explain some of what was even happening in Idaho. But it sounds like very likely there will be some of the extreme religious beliefs and some of the Idaho events at minimum that will come in from the Idaho case to Arizona. We'll see how much. 5. Which version of Lori will we see? Because during some of the preliminary hearings, she got feisty. You can kind of go back to my other video, you can watch some of that. Oh goodness, she got kind of testy with the judge, a little bit sassy. And yeah, but then during jury selection, she was apparently very demure, very mindful.
Very demure, very mindful.
But she still looked a little almost hesitant, nervous, unsure of herself. And I think that was a show for the jury on some level, as well as some actual nerves, because things are starting to get real and she's not a lawyer and she's starting to feel the stress. That's my opinion. I personally think that we will see her trying to do more of the demure, quiet, oh, I'm a weak, persecuted little princess in a tower. Men, come save me. And that is largely because we have a jury of 13 men and 3 women. That's counting the alternates. So, I think she had a say in that. As we've had people saying, one of the prosecutors from Idaho that was involved in her case said that she was definitely kind of quietly making eyes at the male jurors and using her little wiles. It didn't work clearly, but this is what she's used to doing and what has worked throughout her life, is to try to use her little feminine wiles. So I suspect she was encouraging the jury to be heavily male. And if by some chance the alternates' names that are pulled or their numbers are all female, we could end up with an entirely male jury. That will be interesting. I don't, and a part of me thinks, you know what, Lori? Go for it. Try to flirt and woo and bat your eyes all you want. I think it will backfire and you'll be found guilty. I don't care how many men are on the jury. I think they'll see right through you. Just a thought. What kind of defense is Lori going to put up? I suspect she won't put up any defense at all. That's what happened in Idaho when she did have a defense team. They basically said, we believe that the state has not met their burden of proof, and therefore she should not be found guilty, and we rest. Obviously, that did not work then. I don't think it will work now, but I think that's what she's banking on. If she does take the stand, which some people are thinking she probably will, she'll be testifying in her own defense, but she has to, in advance, submit the questions to someone on her legal team that this has been provided by the court, and they will then ask her the pre-written, pre-approved questions that she has submitted, and then she is subject to cross-examination from the state. If she is stupid enough to testify after having been convicted in Idaho, she thinks she's special and she thinks that she's smart and she thinks she can beat this and that she will be vindicated somehow and exonerated, as we learned in the whole Dateline jailhouse interview with Keith Morrison. Oh, heavens to Betsy. It's not going to work, Lori. It's not. It's just not. Those are some things to watch out for. If you are interested in watching the trial, a lot of places are streaming it. I will be watching the stream from East Idaho News. That's the ones I've been following this and streaming things forever with Nate Eden. So keep in mind that the judge has ordered a 30-minute delay in the feed. So it's live, but 30 minutes late. So I think that's the idea. So if anything ends up being videoed or caught on camera that shouldn't be public, they can stop it and censor something if need be. So that's on the court. It's not because any streamers want to delay it. It's just the court's order. They have to follow that. But most of the country is on daylight saving time. Arizona is not. So they're on Pacific time. If you are in Mountain time, then it's 1 hour later. Their schedule at this point is Monday through Thursday, so no court on Fridays. And they begin 10:30 Pacific time. Then they'll start streaming at 11 a.m. with that 30-minute delay. Start streaming if you're in Mountain time. You'll want to start watching at noon. That's when it will go live for 90 minutes. So noon until 1:30. You'll have a 90-minute lunch, 1:30 to 3. Start watching again at 3 Mountain time. That's with the delay. So, and there'll be an afternoon break somewhere in there. So that is like Utah time. You can figure out your own, but that's Monday through Thursdays if you want to watch it, which I will be doing, and I will be doing recaps as well. So let me know what you think, and are you going to be watching? What are you looking for? Looking forward to? Or I kind of hope we see this feisty version of Lori, but I think she's going to try to be all cute and innocent and batting her eyelashes at the male jurors, and I really hope the male jurors just roll their eyes and go, no. Time for some hot cocoa.